The next topic that has to be addressed if we want to permanently get somebody beyond obesity and get them into a healthy weight for the rest of their life is the area of beliefs. Now, it's inevitable that if somebody has struggled with their weight for years, that they start questioning themselves, and typically they're going to start developing some limiting beliefs, such as, maybe I just can't do it, maybe I'm just meant to be this way, maybe I'm just meant to be overweight, maybe I don't even deserve it. And so how do we get somebody from that place of despair and hopelessness to a place where they see a compelling future for themselves, get excited by it, and know that they can achieve it? Well, any belief that you have, whether it's one of these or one of these, is going to be supported by what we call references, which come in one of three forms. The first is from your own real life experience. And the biggest problematic area that we see with this is unsustainable dietary practices. So if somebody tries to lose weight and they use a really flawed approach like a super low calorie diet, well, guess what? You're going to fail on that. Your metabolism is going to come right down. Then when you start eating normally again, your weight rebounds, and then you add it with interest. But if you have a whole bunch of those experiences back to back to back, your brain's going to start generalizing, and it's going to potentially start taking meanings from that, such as, maybe I can't do it. Maybe this is just all evidence of my failings and my inabilities, as opposed to recognizing that, well, maybe I just didn't have the complete picture over here. The second type of reference is external sources to yourself. So you know what it's like when you get together with a friend who struggles with the same problems that you do. What do? Reinforce each other's problems. So you'll talk about trying to lose weight and you'll say, oh, it's so hard, isn't it? Yeah, it is so hard. Have you tried this? Yeah, me too. But do you find yourself trying this and this, but then doing this instead? Yeah, so do I. And all you're doing is just reinforcing each other's limiting beliefs. Now, what you'll find when you have any form of a belief, whether it's a useful one or a limiting one, is that you will automatically look for and filter in the evidence that supports that belief. And all of the contradictory evidence, all of the evidence that might destroy that belief, you automatically nullify or delete, or you just make it not count in some way. Or you'll say stuff like, oh yeah, that's somebody else, but I'm different. And then the final type of reference is your own imagination. Now, your unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between something that's vividly being imagined and something that's actually happening for real. So if you vividly imagine yourself in a scary situation, so you maybe in a dark alleyway late at night, your heart rate goes up, your breathing rate goes up, and your palms start to sweat. So unconsciously, your brain responds as though it's actually happening for real. So if you've been in the habit of vividly imagining your future being doomed, of yourself struggling and so on, guess what? Your brain thinks that that's what's actually going to happen and what actually has happened. It stores those things as memories. So these are the three forms of references, all of which support and strengthen beliefs. So if you want to destroy a limiting belief and replace it with an empowering belief, guess what you have to do? You have to look for all of the evidence that supports this belief and start deleting all of this evidence instead. So first of all, go out there and look for evidence in other people that have achieved what you want to achieve. And at first, it's going to take some time and effort because remember what I said, your brain unconsciously tends to delete that stuff. So you have to force yourself to look for it. Secondly, you have to imagine your future being the way that you want it to be. And again, this is going to take some time and effort and energy because the easiest, fastest, most habitual response is to take images that you already are familiar with and just project those into the future. So designing your future the way that you want it to be at first is going to take some time and effort to make it seem real and vivid, and where you can step inside it and experience it as though it were happening for real. And then finally, you have to get out there in the real world and back it up with action. Because if you do all of this work building empowering beliefs and then you sit back on your couch and wait for your life to happen for you, guess what? That's not going to work. So you have to back it up with action. So hopefully that gives you some practical steps to do right now, start implementing right away, where you can start start building and then reinforcing these empowering beliefs so that you can start moving your life and your weight and your mindset and your overall happiness and fulfillment exactly where you want it to be, and so that your future is designed by you, not by your past.